again, everybody. This is Darick from ScreamingEagleAirsoft.com. Yes, that's ScreamingEagleAirsoft.com, the place where you can go to get all your airsoft supplies and needs. Now, today we are doing a know-it-all video, Airsoft 101 know-it-all video, and it is going to explain the different types of airsoft. Okay, first of all, I just want to kind of go over the basics. That's what Airsoft 101 is. Airsoft basics. There are two sizes to BBs. You have a 6mm BB and you have a 8mm BB. Now, the 6mm BBs are the most common, prevalent. 99% of your guns use 6mm BBs. You really do not need to even ask if it uses 6mm BBs, because I bet you it does, okay? There are only a couple of guns out there that are using 8mm BBs. Do not worry about it. If you were buying the gun and you know it's an 8mm BB, you might want to change to a 6mm BB because it's hard to find out on the market anywhere that sells 6mm BBs. I mean, 8mm BBs. So almost every gun, 99% of them, I'm going to say 99.9% of them are 6mm. So don't worry about it. 6mm. If you see on the bag it says 5.95 with a plus or minus 0.1, guess what? It's a 6mm BB. The closer you get to 6mm, the closer you get to your bore diameter. BBs come in different weights. BBs have, they're all this, like, let's say the 6mm BBs, they're all the same size, okay? They're all right around 6mm, 5.95, 5.98, you know, something like that. But they do come in different weights. So .12s are the lightest weight BB, and it goes all the way up to 0.43 gram BBs. Now these 0.30s and better are usually used in sniper weapons, weapons that have extremely high feet per second. Now 0.12s are those are kiddie BBs. I'm going to say those are baby BBs. Those are the BBs that you give to your 8-year-old to shoot his sister. Okay, you do not use .12s in anything that's got a reasonable FPS. Okay, you will almost always use .20s up to about .25s. That's what the 99% of game players out there use in their guns. Most people are playing with automatic weapons, and they use the .20 up to .25s. What happens when you use a .12 compared to, let's not even talk about 12s because they just are crap. You want to use .20s, and at the minimum, what's the difference between a .20 and a .25 other than the weight? Well, guess what? .20s might go a few feet further than a .25. You think that, I did a little research on this, and I found that .25s are extremely more accurate than a .20. You shoot a .20, it goes out, and then whoosh, it's off to the side. And then you shoot the same shot, same wind, same conditions, off to the left. Okay. The .25s, you shoot them a little bit off. And then I shot some .28s and boink, 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 right down the middle. Okay. Now, but the problem is when I went for those long range shots, okay, long range, I'm not talking about 200 feet. I'm talking long range. I was noticing my 20s were like, boink, boink, and the 25s were going, boink, 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 and they weren't making it anywhere near 200 feet. So the 20s might be hitting like this, but the 25s were hitting like this, but they were short. The 20s would go further, maybe less accuracy. So guess what? Accuracy versus range. You got a trade-off. You want it extremely accurate, or do you want it to be? You want to be able to reach out and touch somebody. There you go. The heavier BBs, when they do hit, they will hit with a little bit more force. So it's just something you can think about. Different firing mechanisms. Okay, Airsoft has a variety of different ways to propel the BB. Different ways to fire your gun. The most common way, believe it or not, the most common way is manual spring cocking mechanisms, okay? Now, you have, on a handgun, you can pull the slide back, cock, okay? And it cocks the spring. There's a spring inside the piston, you're cocking it back, it pulls the piston and the spring back, and it locks back until you pull the trigger. The spring flies the piston forward, pushing the BB out the barrel. Okay. Manual cocking handgun. Shotguns. Pump shotgun. Guess what? That's manual. Because you have to use your muscle to power it. There's a spring that you are tightening. There are bolt-action rifles. Now, there are a variety of different bolt-action rifles, but there are spring bolt-action rifles where you're cocking the bolt back, which there's a spring inside the bolt-action. Boonk, pow. There are submachine guns, that you got like a little cocking lever here. There's anything that you have to manually cock. Manual is a spring airsoft gun. Okay. Those are usually reserved for neighborhood play, except for maybe the sniper rifles that are spring powered. Okay. Neighborhood play, because nobody wants to go cock, pow, cock, pow, cock, pow. That's just not what you want to do with airsoft. Next one is CO2. CO2 is a lot like any other CO2 gun you've ever seen. You got the little CO2 cartridge. It goes in the magazine. You fire the BB, pop, 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 and the gas, every time you pull the trigger, the gas propels the BB. Pop, 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 pop. Okay? And then there's green gas. Green gas you put in the magazine, and it's a lot similar. You pull the trigger, pop, 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 and it's the green gas propels the BB. A little bit less FPS than a CO2. CO2s have a little bit higher FPS. Okay. Sometimes these guns will have a blowback function where the gun will actually slide back. That uses a little bit of your green gas or CO2 to accomplish that feat. But CO2, pop, pop, pop. CO2, green gas, they shoot pretty hard. Not extremely hard, but they do shoot hard. Pop, pop, pop. Maybe 380 with .20s, which is breaking the skin. Then there is electric. Electric is, if you're new to airsoft and you're thinking about getting into it, get an electric gun, okay? If you're playing in the neighborhood, that's fine. Get yourself a neighborhood electric gun, one that's neighborhood friendly. Do not get a full metal competition gun to play around your neighborhood. Okay, I'll get into that in a minute when I talk about neighborhood play. But electric guns, the way they work is they have a battery that goes inside of them. Either you buy the battery AA, AAA off the wall, or it comes with, or you can buy a rechargeable remote control car battery, like a nickel metal hydride battery or a LiPo battery, and you plug that into the gun and you pull the trigger and it fires. Pow! What happens is the battery is powering a motor, this remote control car type motor, turns the gears inside the gun, which pulls the piston back and tightens the spring, and then when it gets to a certain point, the gears release and it goes boom, and it slams the piston forward, firing BB. And now a lot of these electric guns have a selector lever on the side. You can crank to full auto. So when you pull the trigger, it goes, and you get like 1,000 BBs per second coming out. Okay, maybe not that high, but still. There is a new type of gun out there. It's not really new, but it's called the electric pneumatic gun. The electric pneumatics are basically powered powered by a paintball-esque air can, like you've seen on paintball guns. They have these cans. They got a remote line that leads to your M4 or whatever, and you fire it, pop, 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 and that air that you are carrying around on your hip is what is firing the gun. Those guns usually range $600 plus. They're not that impressive in my opinion. They don't have really high FPSs, but you don't have that. You don't have a spring to worry about. It's the gas or air that's in the chamber that's firing the gun. But that is one of the reasons why I got out of or stayed away from paintball, was because I didn't want a gas line coming off of my gun that went to a big, huge gas canister, what's next? A big hopper on the top of my gun? No. See, those things I don't want on my gun. I want it to be magazine fed, and if there's a battery or whatever, to be hidden away inside the gun, not something external. That's me. All right, now I touched on this a little bit earlier about neighborhood play. Well, there's really two ways to play airsoft. One is the neighborhood game, and then there's the field game. When I say neighborhood, I mean you've got you and your friends. You have like a backyard, and you play around the neighborhood. You know, you've got maybe a little park that you guys go to, or like you've got some acres and you go out in the backwoods and you play. That's neighborhood play. And field play is when you get in your car or you have your dad or whoever drive you to a different location specifically designated as an airsoft place. Now, it could be a field, it could be an indoor field like a CQB center or something like that. Those, with referees and they're running a little bit better, and they tend to allow higher FPSs because they usually have adults playing there, and these adults are can take it, or they can accept a higher, and they want a little bit higher FPSs. Now, when you're talking about neighborhood play, you want to stay at 300. As a parent, if you're watching this, you want to stay at 350 FPS or less, because 350 FPS, you're not really having serious injuries, and you are not really damaging neighborhood items, But when you start talking about 495 FPS guns and you start shooting it in the neighborhood, you might get a little ding in your car, and you don't want that, right? So stay away from the full metal 495 FPS, AKs that your kid wants. Stay away from that. Stick with the about $100 guns, the ones that are made of plastic, usually, and they usually have low FPS, like anywhere between 200 to 300 FPS, are great for neighborhood play. When you see a gun that is full metal, you need to be alarmed and just immediately shoot for the FPS and find out if it's over 350 FPS. If it is, understand that gun should only be used when you go to a field. And you should check the field that you're going to. They might have FPS limits. All fields have a limit on how high you can get your FPS, because some guns can be upgraded to the point of insanity. Last point I wanted to make was about sniper rifles and AEGs. When I say AEG, I do not mean Asia electric guns. I do mean automatic electric guns. Sniper rifles, right? Gas-powered sniper rifle, CO2-powered, electric, manual, does not matter. Sniper rifles almost always have an extremely high FPS, okay? A lot of kids like sniper rifle. They want a sniper rifle because they've played with a sniper rifle on Call of Duty or Medal of Honor or something like that, and they think it's just the bee's knees. Well, guess what? Sniper rifles are, but only if you act like a sniper. If you act like a rifleman and you run into a building with a sniper rifle, you're just being stupid, okay? So don't act like, and if it's your only gun, if it's the only gun you own, do not buy a sniper rifle. Don't get a sniper rifle as your first gun. First guns should be AEGs. You should have an automatic gun, automatic electric rifle. That way you can just play in the neighborhood, run around, turn the corner, blast your buddies, whatever. Go into a room, clear it out. Okay. If you want to then get a sniper rifle and every now and then play a sniper, that would be great. Okay. Or if your team that you have that goes to fields have a designated marksman and you are it, then definitely get a sniper rifle. As long as you've got support. Because of the insanely high FPS, if you are playing in your neighborhood with a sniper rifle and maybe you've got capture the flag and you want to go run over there and get the objective, and so does Bob, your buddy, he's running over there too, and then you see each other, like you both turn the corner or something. I'm just pulling this out, I don't know what. You both turn, guess what? You can't shoot him. If you do, you will cause injury. Okay? Sniper rifles are meant to be used from a distance. You back up, you get up into a little position, you find a nice spot to hide, and then when they come by and they don't know that you're there, and you pop them and they die. That's the way to use the sniper rifle in the airsoft game. Do not use it as a room clear. This was Airsoft 101, the types of airsoft. I talked about gas, spring, AEG, pneumatic, air, electric, and I talked about neighborhood and field play. I talked about sniper rifle versus an AEG as your first weapon. I talked about BBs and the weights and the sizes. And, I think that should cover it. I think that really explains Airsoft to anybody. Now, there's other videos in the Airsoft Know-It-All 101s. You check those out if you. Thank you for coming out and checking out this video. And remember, guys, whenever you're on the Airsoft field,